After his submarine is destroyed in an attack, an American naval officer is stranded on a deserted island in the Pacific Ocean with a young nun, who is the only survivor from her religious mission. But what happened next changed everything. Let's start our story. The movie starts in 1944, during World War II. Gunfire was heard everywhere, and in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, we see an American Marine captain, Allison. His group had been attacked by Japanese soldiers, but somehow, Allison was able to escape and get into a rubber raft. He drifted alone in the sea for several days. One day, he sees an island far away. He quickly rows toward it, reaches the shore, pulls the raft aside, and starts searching around for help. But all he sees are trees and rocks. Then he notices a church. When he goes inside, he meets a Catholic nun, Angela, coming out. Angela gets scared when she spots him, but Allison says, "Don't be afraid. I'm American. You're safe with me." He asks her how many people live on the island, and she replies, "There is no one on the island but me." However, Allison finds this hard to believe. Angela takes him to her shelter and gives him some food. Allison asks her why she's alone there. Angela explains that she came to the island with a priest to help some elderly clergy escape from the Japanese soldiers. But when they arrived, the Japanese had already taken over the island and captured the priests. Because it was too dangerous, Angela and the priest decided to hide for a few days. Sadly, the priest became sick and died. Since then, Angela has been alone. People back home believe she had also been captured, so no one came to save her. Allison then shares his story too. He tells her he's a Marine, and his group was attacked by Japanese soldiers. He barely escaped with his life, and ended up there. After some rest, Allison wakes to find Angela lighting a candle and praying, seeking guidance from God. Later, the two go out to look for food. Allison climbs a tree to pick coconuts and fruit, handing them down to Angela. However, he still needs more protein and spots a turtle in the ocean. Taking some rope and wood, he gets in the raft, and Angela joins him. They approach the turtle, but catching it isn't that soft and easy. Allison falls into the water, but with Angela's help, they finally catch the turtle and return to the island. Allison cooks and eats the turtle, saying, "We have everything we need on this island. Even if no one comes to rescue us, we can survive." Angela asks, "Who do you have back home?" Allison replies that he's an orphan, and grew up in an orphanage until he was 14. After finishing his studies, he joined the military to serve his country. Angela also tells him she's an orphan. She has deep faith in God, which is why she chose to become a nun. The next day, they see a Japanese fighter plane in the sky. Alerted, Allison quickly hides with Angela, knowing their lives could be in danger if they're seen. He tells her they must stay hidden for a few days, and mentions a cave he found. Angela agrees, and they move into the cave, spending the entire day there. The next morning, they hear loud explosions. Allison peeks outside and sees Japanese aircraft bombing the island. Angela is terrified and begins to pray. Allison comforts and calms her. Once the bombing ends, they come out and see complete destruction. Their shelter and the church have been completely destroyed. Soon after, a unit of Japanese soldiers arrives to set up a weather station. They destroy Allison's raft too. Seeing them, Allison and Angela are forced to hide in the cave again. Soldiers are all around, and Allison becomes extra careful. He asks Angela to hide deeper while he stands guard with a knife. Fortunately, the soldiers don't enter the cave and eventually leave. Angela then suggests surrendering to the Japanese, hoping they won't harm a nun, and that it might give Allison a chance to escape. But Allison refuses, saying it's too dangerous. They could still harm her. They decide to continue hiding. That evening, Allison sneaks out to fish while avoiding the soldiers. When some Japanese troops spot him, he pretends to be dead. Fooled, they leave. He catches a fish and returns to the cave, where he and Angela eat. However, Angela had stopped eating meat after becoming a nun. Still, with no other food, she eats the fish but later vomits as her body can't digest it, and she goes to sleep hungry. Later, Allison sneaks out to observe the Japanese camps. He darkens his face to avoid detection and sneaks into a camp to steal food. But a soldier arrives, forcing him to hide all night in a dangerous situation. In the morning, as the soldiers train outside, Allison quietly sneaks out with a bag full of supplies. Angela wakes up to find him gone, and panics, thinking he's dead. She cries, but Allison returns safely, making Angela relieved. He explains where he went, but she scolds him for leaving without telling her. Allison promises not to do it again. The next day, Allison gives Angela a flower and a comb, making her happy. He asks if she's ever thought about living a normal life instead of becoming a nun. Angela explains she hasn't yet taken her final vows, and the church allows 5 years before making a permanent decision. Suddenly, they hear voices and realize the Japanese soldiers are leaving the island. They feel overjoyed. With leftover supplies from the camp, food is no longer an issue. Allison tells Angela that he has been lonely all his life and has endured many hardships, but now he wants to be happy with her and asks her to marry him after the war. Angela is shocked and says she has devoted herself to God. She cannot betray that commitment? Allison is heartbroken but apologizes if he hurt her feelings. That night, while eating, Allison finds a bottle of Japanese liquor and drinks too much. Drunkenly and booze, he mocks Angela's vows and compares their situation to Adam and Eve on a deserted island. Hurt, Angela runs into the forest during the rain and falls asleep in the cold. Allison searches for her but can't find her. The next morning, he discovers her unconscious. He carries her back to the camp but sees that the Japanese soldiers have come back. He takes her to the cave, where her condition worsens. Allison risks his life again and sneaks into the Japanese camp to steal blankets and medicine. But a soldier sees him, and Allison is forced to kill him in self-defense and hide the body. Back in the cave, he changes Angela's wet clothes and gives her the medicine. For the first time, he prays. When Angela regains consciousness the next morning, she asks who changed her clothes. Allison admits he did. Seeing her condition, he apologizes again for his words the previous night. Angela forgives him. Suddenly, they hear bombing outside. Allison sees that the Japanese are bombarding the island again, likely because they found the body of the soldier he killed. He tells Angela what happened, and she is devastated, praying for forgiveness. Japanese soldiers arrive near the cave and threaten to throw grenades inside if no one comes out. Angela and Allison feel hopeless. Angela prays, convinced their end is near. Just then, massive bombing starts again. Japanese soldiers outside scream in panic. Allison realizes the American Navy has begun bombing the island. They rush outside to see American planes attacking Japanese positions. They are very happy, but Allison knows it won't be easy for the Navy to land because the Japanese hit 4 big guns on the island. He tells Angela that God would want him to help the American soldiers. Angela says he has her blessing. Allison runs through the battlefield and destroys the guns one by one. Even though he gets hurt, he saves many American lives. The Navy stops bombing and lands safely on the island. Angela comes out and takes care of Allison's wounds. Allison tells her, "It's time for us to say goodbye. We may never see each other again." Angela says, "Even if I don't spend my life with you, you will always be in my heart." The Navy raises their flag. When the captain sees Allison alive, he is shocked. They thought he was dead. Allison is put on a stretcher and Angela walks behind him. Allison never forced Angela to love him or leave her faith, and Angela always respected him. This movie shows us that true love isn't always about being together. Even if 2 people are apart, their hearts can still be connected, and that's how the movie ends. Friends, if you were in Allison's place, would you risk your life for your country? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.